Hello students, this is a quick review and or explanation about how we are making our sewn ugly dolls. So you will or have already made a large paper design. You draw the details and cut it out. It almost touches the edges of the paper. Then you're going to lay it on a large piece of felt face down, trace it nice and hard with a graphite pencil. A double graphite pencil helps enlarge it for a seam allowance. Now, we're going to cut these out with nice big sewing scissors. These are different than the scissors we use for other art projects like paper, and they might be donated, so please care for these scissors. And then once you get one piece of your felt cut out, you need to trace it onto your other piece of felt. They need to be as close to the exact same shape and size as possible. You can use scraps, in other words, not full pieces of felt, to design the details on your art. Draw with a pencil and then cut them out. So once all of your pieces are together, and maybe they're even tacked down with a bit of craft glue, you can start to sew. First, you put the thread through the eye of your needle. You pull it all the way through until the needle is halfway in your string. That way the two ends of your string are even and you're going to tie a knot. I do this by looping the tail over itself. This might be easier in your hand or on the table. You can try both ways. And then put the tips of the string through the back of that hole and gently pull tight. If you want to make your knot extra big, if they keep coming through your felt, you can try and do that twice. So there's my needle with basically a circle of thread on it, but it makes it a double thick. Notice I came from the back of my design and began to do a running stitch around my body part. We have to get those details sewn on before we build our pillow. So a running stitch is up and down, and you just have to be careful that each time you pull the length of your thread through for that stitch, that it's not tangling on itself. This can be annoying if it tangles, but if you slowly pull that thread and are careful, then you'll run into fewer difficulties. When you cut your needle off, use two long pieces to kind of tie a double knot like a shoelace. That's how you finish off your sewing. And if you run out of thread before you finish sewing on a part, you still have to finish it off with a knot and then begin fresh. There I am stumbling into a tangle. It can be really annoying, but I want to show you if you just pull on it, loosen it up. Even you can use your little needle to pull on it and loosen it up. You can sometimes fix that tangle. Now, I also want to show you a running stitch where I went back for that line on the lips and sewed in between my stitches to make a solid running stitch. And here's this knot again where I've cut off the needle and then I tie it twice like a shoe. So when it's time to sew your doll together, you're going to start in the middle of the two pieces just as you had been for your body parts. This way that knot is safely hidden inside the pillow. When you begin blanket stitch, you come in from one direction. Here I am coming in from the back, up from the back of both pieces of fabric, and then as I slowly pull that thread through, I leave myself a door that I can hook. Let's see that one more time. Up through the back, and then down through that front of that door that forms as I'm pulling everything together. You're going to do the blanket stitch all the way around your pillow until you get about 3 or 4 inches of hole left. There's a finger length of hole, and that's going to be just enough room for me to put my stuffing material inside. We can't absolutely stuff our pillows because we need to have enough for everyone, but stuff your pillow until it's firm, a little bit bouncy, and we'll see how much we have at the end of class. you might be able to make your doll really firm. And once the stuffing is inside, this is going to be the trickiest part of your pillow because now these fabrics are kind of pulling away from each other and you have to pinch them with one hand. Good thing you've gotten really good at blanket stitch. And so with the other hand. So you're kind of moving the stuffing inside the pillow to give yourself room at the opening to continue your blanket stitch nice and tight. It will be working against you and pulling, but you're going to be patient, pinching, holding, and stitching until the end. At the very end of the project, do a few extra stitches around the side. You can cut off your needle and you can tie your final knot. Enjoy or gift your ugly doll.